The Ottoman Empire was one of the most powerful and enduring empires in world history, stretching across continents, dominating trade routes, and shaping political, cultural, and military landscapes for centuries. From its humble beginnings as a small frontier principality in northwestern Anatolia in the late 13th century, the empire grew into a global power, renowned for its disciplined army and formidable navy. Their army won on land, and their navy controlled the seas, making the Ottomans a force that could not be ignored. This remarkable rise was guided by visionary leaders, strategic marriages, and a system of governance that allowed them to expand their influence while maintaining order over diverse populations. The foundation of the Ottoman Empire was laid by Osman Bey, a charismatic and ambitious leader whose name gave the empire its identity. Osman and his followers capitalized on the weakness of neighboring Byzantine territories and rival Turkish beyliks, using a combination of military skill and political strategy to extend their control. The early Ottomans were defined by mobility and flexibility. Their light cavalry could strike swiftly, outmaneuver larger armies, and take advantage of the terrain. Over time, their forces became more organized, incorporating infantry, archers, and specialized units that could wage war effectively across different regions. This army became the backbone of Ottoman expansion, allowing the empire to conquer vast territories across Anatolia, the Balkans, and eventually much of the Middle East and North Africa. The conquest of Constantinople in 1453 marked a turning point not only for the Ottoman Empire, but for world history. Under the leadership of Sultan Mehmed II, known as Mehmed the Conqueror, the Ottomans captured the Byzantine capital, a city that had stood for more than 1,000 years as a center of culture, trade, and Christianity. The use of massive cannons, innovative siege tactics, and disciplined troops demonstrated the Ottomans' military genius and technological adaptation. Constantinople, renamed Istanbul, became the new imperial capital, symbolizing both the empire's strength and its role as a bridge between Europe and Asia. This victory solidified the Ottomans' reputation as masters of land warfare while also providing them with strategic access to maritime trade routes. The Ottoman navy played an equally vital role in the empire's rise. Control of the seas allowed the Ottomans to dominate trade in the eastern Mediterranean, secure their coastal territories, and project power across distant regions. By establishing ports and naval bases in key locations, his military campaigns, especially in Hungary, the Middle East, and North Africa, demonstrated the continued effectiveness of the Ottoman army. At the same time, the navy secured dominance in the Mediterranean, countering European rivals and protecting trade networks. Suleiman's era combined military conquest with cultural flourishing, leaving a legacy that influenced the region for centuries. Despite its strength, the Ottoman Empire faced internal and external challenges over time. Conflicts with European powers, revolts within provinces, economic shifts, and technological changes gradually strained the empire. Maintaining control over distant territories became increasingly difficult, and military campaigns required greater resources and coordination. Nevertheless, the Ottomans adapted through reforms, alliances, and modernization efforts, seeking to preserve their authority while responding to new threats. The resilience of the empire allowed it to endure far longer than many contemporaneous powers, demonstrating the effectiveness of its institutions and strategic vision. Throughout its history, the Ottoman Empire was marked by a balance of military might and administrative skill. Its ability to conquer on land while dominating the seas allowed it to expand, protect, and project influence. Its governance structures enabled it to manage diverse populations and territories. Its economic networks supported both daily life and military endeavors, and its cultural achievements fostered intellectual, artistic, and architectural growth. This combination of factors explains why the empire lasted for more than 6 centuries and why its legacy continues to be studied and admired today. In the end, the story of the Ottoman Empire is one of vision, discipline, and adaptability. From a small principality on the Anatolian frontier to a vast empire spanning 3 continents, the Ottomans demonstrated how a state could wield power on land and at sea while integrating diverse peoples, managing complex economies, and fostering cultural achievements. Their army won on land, and their navy controlled the seas, a dual strength that allowed the empire to endure through war, diplomacy, and change. The legacy of the Ottomans remains visible today in architecture, law, language, and the cultural landscape of a region that was forever shaped by their remarkable presence. The empire was able to protect merchant vessels, challenge rival powers, and expand influence into North Africa, the Red Sea, and the Persian Gulf. Famous admirals and naval commanders helped the empire win significant battles, ensuring that the Ottomans were respected not only for their ground forces, but also as masters of maritime strategy. The combination of land and sea power made the Ottoman military one of the most formidable of its time. The governance system of the Ottoman Empire was also a crucial factor in its longevity. The sultans ruled with absolute authority, but they implemented administrative structures that allowed for efficient management of vast and diverse territories. Provincial governors, local administrators, and religious authorities all worked under the central government to maintain order, collect taxes, and enforce laws. The empire incorporated people of various religions, ethnicities, and cultures, often allowing them to maintain their traditions and local governance in exchange for loyalty to the sultan. This pragmatic approach created a sense of stability that supported military campaigns, economic growth, and cultural development over centuries. Economic strength underpinned the empire's military and political power. The Ottomans controlled key trade routes between Europe and Asia, including vital segments of the Silk Road and maritime pathways connecting the Mediterranean to the Indian Ocean. Istanbul became a hub of commerce, attracting merchants, artisans, and scholars from around the world. Agricultural production, taxation systems, and trade networks provided resources to support the army and navy, fund public works, and sponsor cultural achievements. Markets, caravanserais, and ports flourished, enabling the empire to sustain its expansion and maintain influence far beyond its borders. Cultural and intellectual achievements also defined the Ottoman era. Architecture, literature, science, and the arts were fostered through patronage by sultans and elites. Magnificent mosques, palaces, and bridges transformed cityscapes, blending influences from Islamic, Byzantine, and local traditions. Scholars advanced knowledge in astronomy, medicine, mathematics, and philosophy, often drawing on earlier civilizations while also contributing original ideas. This fusion of military strength, administrative skill, economic prosperity, and cultural achievement created an empire that was both resilient and adaptable, capable of navigating challenges over centuries. The empire reached its peak in the 16th and 17th centuries under rulers such as Suleiman the Magnificent, whose reign is often seen as the golden age of Ottoman power. Suleiman expanded territorial control in Europe, Asia, and Africa, while instituting legal and administrative reforms that strengthened governance.